Welcome to the second video in the computer vision crash course. In this 5-part series, we have already gone through the first video, introducing images in Python and seeing how we can manipulate them in NumPy and use Pillow to visualize them. And we learned what the different dimensions are in the arrays and how the color space is working. In this video, we're going to set up the environment. We're going to do that by using Google Colab. So this will be a short video since most of our environment is already working for us. So what we're going to do is that we go to GitHub. And the first thing is that we're going to find the AI ML principles exercise. And I recommend you to fork this repository. And this will create a copy of the repository under your own namespace so that you're yourself allowed to push changes to it and change the different exercises and add your own code. And now we're going to use this to version our Google Colab files, the notebooks, which allows us to easily reset to an earlier version and see the difference that we have made and so forth. So once you have forked this, then go to colab.research.google.com, and the first time you will need to log in with your Google account. I'm then going to create a new notebook. And I'm going to name it infrastructure tests. And here I'm just going to do an hello world print. The first time you execute this by hitting Shift Enter, it will provision an instance in the background for you. So the first time it takes a bit of time because it's going to start up the instance. But now the instance is running, and if I run this again, we will see that it's much faster the second time. So now I want to save this first version of my notebook to my GitHub account. So I'm going to do save a copy in GitHub. And the first time you do this, you need to log in to your GitHub account, and you will see your different repositories. I'm going to select the AI/ML principles exercises. You can save it to the main branch, but I have a branch named Colab, which I'm going to save it to. And for the file path, we probably don't want to save it in the root of the repository. It depends on what exercise you're doing. In this case, I'm going to create a new folder in the ML training folder. So under here, I'm going to create a new folder. So let's copy this path. Write it here. And my new folder is going to be called CV crash course. And my commit message is going to be initial commit of notebook. So after doing this, we can go back to the repository on GitHub, and we will see that indeed in the ML training folder, it is now a CV crash course, and this contains the IPython notebook. And we also have our link here, which we can press to open it again in Google Colab. So now if I do any changes to my code, I can once again save the changes. The annoying thing here is that we actually need to select the repository again, select the branch again, and specify the full path again. And a commit message. So now we can see that the notebook is updated. And I also have the history. So if I press that, I can see the different commits I have done. we see that I had the initial commit. And unfortunately, the diffs are a bit hard to see when working with notebooks. But basically, we can see the cells and the outputs. So this is the first commit, and then we have the second commit, and we can see here the differences that I added a new cell with some new code. So this way, it's easy to revert back to an earlier version if you have made any issues or incorrect changes to your code. So the second part of setting up the infrastructure is simply to learn how we can use our own images, because this code runs on a computer somewhere in the cloud. And if we want to use images from our own computer, we need to upload them. So by pressing this Files button, we will see that we actually have a directory already. So by doing exclamation mark and ls, we can list the files where we're currently standing. We can also do a print working directory to see where we're at. And we see here that the sample data is this folder. So if I want to add a new file here, I can upload this one. And if I once again do the ls, I can see that now this file is available here. So this was everything from the infrastructure point of view that we will use to work with the different exercises in the different exercise sessions. So next up, we will have a look at exploring the datasets using SciPy, training a model and evaluating the model and making predictions with our own images. So let's jump over to this third video.